Hello there. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the Connect vocabulary quizzes or vocabulary assignments. And let me emphasize that really these are assignments. We don't have any quizzes or tests in this class, not even the final exam, that are timed. All right, we don't have any. There is no occasion where you need to report somewhere. Certainly not in person, but not even online. You don't need to find a quiz or a test ever in this class for this semester, right? In which you're going to be timed. All right. So even though what I'm about to talk about are we're looking at the week 7 folder here. And that's good because I'm going to introduce it says here, Introduction to Connect Vocabulary Quizzes, right? So even though I'm saying quizzes, which they are, I mean, they are quizzes. There are 10 items and they're multiple choice and you try to select the right answer. So sure, they're quizzes, but they're not in the sense that they're timed. And it's just like any other assignment that is available on Blackboard, on Connect in this case. And that you have a due date. You have an on-time deadline and also a late deadline. As long as you submit it by the late deadline, you will get you'll get credit. I don't know if you'll get full credit. If you miss one, then you won't get full credit. But the point is that that you can, it's just like any other assignment. All right. Okay. Let me go back to welcome, start here. As always, welcome. And let's start here. I want to begin, and remember these are a couple of videos that I guess this video and then these couple right here were available as an orientation, kind of to basically clicking around and I think I did it in order according to step 1, step 2, step 3, and this and I did it. I think I went through the steps within the video, right? And as I did that, I showed you the different things that are available on here on Blackboard. And now, of course, we're using and I think I might have done this then. I think I've done it every time. I've used the V13 because I teach INRW 0304 V13. There are about, a little bit over 20 students, around 20 students in that class. And then I have another one, V14, with around 20 students, and then another one, V15, with about 20 students. And you're in one of them, right? One of those. And so whatever I say for V13 applies to V14 and V15 as well. All right. As I say this every single time, so you shouldn't be surprised I'm saying it. But you never know. Someone might have not watched any of my previous videos, right? And this is the first one. That's kind of not the best situation, but if that's the case, then you're getting the same information for the most part. Sometimes, though, I will say that I can't spend, 20 minutes on something right now that I've spent 20 minutes on already before. So I'll refer you to other videos that you should watch so that I don't have to repeat every single thing. Again, the purpose of this video is to introduce the Connect assignments that are the vocabulary quizzes. Okay, vocabulary quizzes that are inside of or part of Connect. Okay, now, but I mentioned this, the orientation from the beginning, to say that I've made some improvements to some items that I introduced from the start back on August 24th. All right, but I've made some improvements that will help you be more aware. It'll be, I suppose, more obvious what you need to do with the changes that I made. So if we go, before we look into the vocabulary quizzes, I want us to look at right here, the syllabus schedule. Okay. And so there's a syllabus and I made changes to that. And the changes that I made to the syllabus are in relation to the changes that I made to the master schedule. And I didn't title it master schedule, but that is what it is. It's a master schedule containing all of the assignments that are due this semester, and I need to add some more. Very soon I will add not many more. These are most of the assignments, the vast majority, but I'll add a few more between now and the end of the semester that you also need to do. Okay, But these are most of them. They're already there. You already know in advance. You can know now what you need to do on week 13, for example, right? And we're only on week 7. Okay. So you can kind of plan ahead. You can also see weeks that have a lot of assignments, and week 7, this week that we're on right now, it is one of those weeks. It might be the one with the most assignments. You can see there's what I'm mentioning, the vocabulary. There's a vocabulary quiz, again, due on October 7th, right? Due on October 7th. That doesn't mean you have to do it that day, that's the only day it's available. No, certainly not. All right. I already said this. I'm not tired of saying it 1,000 times, because I think when people see quiz, they think of one thing. I show up somewhere and I take the quiz, or it becomes available on the computer, right? In the more modern internet sense, right? Online class sense. And it's available for 1 or 2 hours. And I have to get it done during that period because it's time. No, none of that. All right. So again, I'm repeating because it needs to be repeated. I think that this is just another assignment. All right. The vocabulary quizzes are just consider them assignments like any other that have a deadline, right? But it's already there, right? This vocabulary quiz, as I speak, is already available on Connect. You can go in there and do it, and you have till October 7th, which is the on-time deadline, or till October 14th, which is the late deadline. I don't take points off for late work. So as long as you get it in by then, and 11:59 p.m. is always the time, no matter what date I say, as long as you get it in by that time and date, which in this case is October 14th, you will get as much chance as anyone else to get 100 on it, or however many, in this case, however many you deserve based on how many you get right. Okay. So that's the thing. It's just an assignment like all others. And speaking of assignments, there are other assignments. We began on the course reading and writing topics 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago on week 5, which was on the 21st. And notice it always tells you when we began on when the assignments became available. Vocabulary quizzes became available today. It's called a course reading and writing topic. All of those, I think there are 8 of those, became available on September 21st, but they're not all due on September 21st. So this particular one is due on October 8th. Then the late deadline for it is October 22nd. All right, so it's a very big 14-day late period. Notice vocabulary does not have a large late period. I mean, I think it is large. 7 days is a long time of extra time, but compared with 14 days, it's shorter. So be careful with kind of getting like used to one thing. It depends. All right, most assignments have a 1 week late deadline or late period. But this one has a 2-week late period. And I've explained why in previous videos. I'm not going to go into that, why I gave such a long late period on that assignment and not on others. All right. Other assignments that are due this week, there are the replies. I put you in a group. You either have 2 or 3 partners, or group mates or group members in your group. And really, you don't do much together. All right. You should have already by now posted in response to some questions that I put on the discussion board for, what book are you reading, right? And again, I don't want to go into that too much because the purpose of this video is not to talk about that. But at this point, if you haven't done so, you should check your Blackboard email right over here. Where is it? There it is, Blackboard messages email. Check that. There it'll show who your group members are. You'll go into discussions and then you'll reply to their posts if they're there. If their posts are not there, right, then keep checking back because everyone has till October 9th because that's the late deadline to post. Therefore, that's why you might have to keep checking back until they finally post. If they don't post again, don't worry about it. You'll contact me later and tell me that they didn't post. Everybody should reply to my post though. Every single person, even if you're stuck in the nightmare group where nobody posts, right, and you're the only one that posted, you at least get to reply to me, right? Because I posted and I'm available for every single person in every single group to post to me, all right? To reply to reply to me. But I'm spending too much time on something that isn't the assignment at hand, right? Right now we should get to the vocabulary quizzes. But again, there's also the grammar connect assignments. And in this case, it's commas. Those became available last week, those grammar connect or connect grammar assignments. And notice it has its deadline, and it also has a late deadline. And finally, attendance quizzes become available on the Monday at 8 in the morning. They're the only assignments that become available in the morning. All other assignments become available at 1 p.m. on whatever date it is. And it's one of the few assignments for which I do not allow late submissions, right? So it's due Sunday, 11:59 p.m. and no late, because that doesn't make sense, students, all right? Like, oh, Mr. Perez, let me have late time. No one has asked, and you can ask. I'm not saying don't ask, but the answer will be no, all right? Because attendance is different. You either attend or you don't attend, all right? Assignments are kind of like, and again, and I'm speaking of attendance as though it's like you show up somewhere. No, you don't. In this case, you don't show up to a physical location, but this is not a physical class, right? This is an online class. So what I call attendance is you taking a really short, easy, you already know the answer. The answer is true to the one question on it, right? And so it doesn't get easier than that. So it's the easiest form of attendance. As long as you're not dead or incapacitated, but I mean incapacitated. And I don't mean to be insensitive in saying that, but most people, most of the time in most conditions can take a little quiz, all right? When you have a 1 week period to do so, all right? So again, if any exceptions to that, you'd have to talk to me. You'd have to talk to me and we'd have to make special arrangements, but I usually wouldn't because of what I'm saying. Taking a quiz, right, that's really short is something that most people can do most of the time without a problem, even if they have like a cold or even if they have, I know there's something bigger out there than colds. I know that. But even if you have a stomach ache, even if, you worked a lot that week and, you work 60 hours at your job, again, you can't dedicate 2 minutes to taking an attendance quiz. Again, it's a really hard sell. All right. Now, why do I mention all that, right? We should be talking about this because I know this is a week with a lot of assignments, right? But get them done. Get the attendance. I am always, speaking of the attendance quiz, I don't know. I don't understand why people don't just go in there on Monday, get it done, and that's it. It's an easy 100, right? Just get it done, all right? I could be a nice pushover person and say, oh, mijito, mijita, right? Which means, son or daughter, right? A lot of people of my background, because I have a Spanish language background, right? We say that, and it's often like, we mean like, oh, let me make it easy on you, and oh, is it too hard? No, that's not right. Okay, I don't believe in that. I don't even do that for my children. All right, and they are my mijos and mijas. I have 6 of them, two sons and 6 daughters. Sorry, 2 sons and 4 daughters. I do that, but only with the sometimes when I do that, I'm like, however, you still need to do your work. You still need to do your chores. You still need to turn in your assignments. Why? Because I do them no favors doing it the other way. No favors at all, okay? My opinion is that good teachers and good parents have expectations and reasonable expectations, right? Reasonable, but expectations nonetheless, all right? So get that one done. That one's easy. The fact that there are 4 other assignments has nothing to do with the attendance quiz. That one is a 1 or 2 minute assignment, right? Maybe even less. Maybe it might take you 30 seconds to do it, okay? And then other things, if it is difficult to turn in these many assignments, one's due on the 7th, which is only 2 days from now, right? The vocabulary quiz that I'm going to tell you about. And then there's another one due on the 8th. I think this one does take longer. Vocabulary quiz won't take you that long, I don't think. But this might take a little bit longer. And then the reply, I don't think it'll take you that long to reply, but because it might be a matter of going into your emails, seeing who your partners are, checking the discussion board and realizing that no one's there, right? So again, you might not be able to do that one today or tomorrow till other people have done their posts. But once you actually get in there, you find them, you go in there and you write like one sentence. There's a requirement. Look in the discussion board for what the requirement is. And I also mention it in the email, right? Then it won't take you very long to do it, all right? And then the grammar, commas tutorial and Connect, that takes a little while, but it shouldn't take really, really long. So again, I think you can get them done, by the on-time deadlines, right? But since there are all these late deadlines on that one, and on this one, right? You have three possible assignments you can do late. Then what's the problem, right? If you can't get them done on time, well, then get them done by the late deadline as soon as possible, but by the late deadline. Yes, no late on attendance, quiz, and no late on the replies, because really, I don't know. I have my reasons why I made that decision, and I'm going to stick to it. Okay. Also, keep in mind that I drop low grades. So what happens when a student doesn't turn something in by the late deadline? It becomes a 0. What else could it be? What else could it be other than a 0? It didn't get done, right? So again, don't fight me on logic. Reason, I always let reason win. I have mercy. I have sympathy. I have empathy. I am a human being, not a robot. However, we cannot abandon reason. We must always be logical, okay? One thing cannot rob the other. Mercy cannot rob justice, and neither can justice rob mercy, all right? They both have to be there, and they are there. And what is a way that I show mercy? In dropping things, right? Because some of those zeros that happen, right, they become dropped. Not all of them, right? If you never turn in assignments, don't expect I'm going to drop all the zeros. But on the syllabus, and then I think here, if we scroll down here, there it is. You can see it here. Let's say that a student, there are 11 grammar correct assignments, but the student doesn't do 3 of them, no problem, because 3 of those get dropped, right? So again, you should do all 11 so you can get the practice on all 11 grammar topics, right? Really, you should still do all the work. I hope nobody's saying, oh, okay, I'm just going to skip 3. Don't do that. However, life happens, things go wrong. I understand that. It happens to me too, right? And so so therefore I do drop low scores, and often those are zeros, right? Now, if a student does all 11, let me stick to what I'm talking about, connect, right? If a student does all 6, because there are 6 vocabulary assignments, but gets a bad grade on 1 of them or on 2 of them, right? In other words, I'll drop the lowest 2 because only the top 4 scores will be counted for the grade, right? So again, there it is, right? So any thought that Mr. Perez doesn't care, doesn't care when things go wrong, completely wrong, because I care. I just have taken care of it in advance through my policies. I'm uncomfortable with the whole thing of someone coming and saying, I need extra time, because I start to wonder, okay, well, what about these other people who don't speak up and who also need extra time? What about people who did speak up and I told them no? A few days later, someone comes. Do I have to relive that all over again and tell them no, or tell them yes and then wonder I told someone else no, right? See, that's a huge dilemma. So I take care of it through policy, right? And it works quite well most of the time, most places. If you still disagree, I'm sorry, I've done my best, all right? I always do my best, and that is an example of me doing my best, all right? Of course, there are always circumstances that maybe policies don't cover, and those we'll talk about privately and we'll come up with an agreement. But beyond that, the policy usually covers most things. Okay, so have you noticed though that the late due date is here, right? That's the change. I really think that I mean, notice how easy it is now for me to tell you this. On previous videos, I've told you that the master schedule only has the on-time deadlines, but it doesn't have the late deadlines. So go find those somewhere else. And that's fine. They're available somewhere else. But I think it's better that all the late deadlines be given. And so I spent about 4 hours working on the master schedule and on the syllabus to make sure that all late deadlines are included and you know them up front. So in one location, not only the on-time deadline, but the late deadline. So yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. It does make life easier. And also for me, right? Because as I'm explaining things, I can also more easily tell you all these things because I see them too. And of course you see them. All right, so that's the change. That's the big change. I added the late due date. On the syllabus, of course, I went ahead and added the late deadline. The easiest place to go is the topic outline right there. And I even did it for assignments that are gone, assignments that are past. We don't really need them, I guess, because those assignments have already come and gone. Kind of. Yeah. week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and although week 5, that was 2 weeks ago. Notice it was still important that I did it for past weeks because those course reading and writing topics, right, had a late deadline that went all the way to this week. All right. So that's why I did it. That's why I went ahead and put it everywhere. Put the late deadlines that weren't there. I also improved the formatting a bit because before this only said, I think it only said 210 identifying and developing main ideas, 220 blah blah blah, right? And let me skip to week 7. It said vocabulary 5. No, it said 540 vocabulary quiz. What wasn't clear was that it was a connect assignment. All right. Now I think you really should know, right? But that's all right. If it's not like obvious, one of the things I said earlier is that I'm making it obvious. All right. So now it's obvious. Okay. It is obvious that identifying and developing main ideas is a connect assignment. What kind of connect assignment? A course reading and writing topic assignment. Okay. So when you go into Blackboard and you'll find this folder right here. This folder within Connect, and that's the one that'll include this. So really, I should have had it like this from the start. But at the beginning of the semester, there are a lot of things to do. And so you kind of do it one way, you do it quickly as best as I did. I think I did a good job. But then later you think, okay. And I remember thinking 2-3 weeks before class started, and I was doing things a certain way that, okay, you know what? At some point when I get time, I'm going to improve some things. And here I am. Here I am on week 7, improving some things that I had done before. Okay. And so now it's clear not only what the late deadline is, but also especially for Connect assignments, what kind of assignment it is. It's Connect and it's course reading and writing topics, that one and this one, right? I also am using bullets to provide both the on-time deadline and the late deadline, right? Because that makes it a little easier to see. Notice on attendance quizzes and a few other assignments, no lates. And so that's in bold letters right there. And I've explained why, right? Why it says no lates. Remember, I'm not heartless, but I also don't want to be mindless. We got to use both. The heart and the mind and the heart. And so one cannot overcome the other completely. We got to use them both together. All right. That's another way of saying what I was saying earlier. All right. So again, make sure you study this, and it's better. I think this is a better way, clearer presentation of what's due and when, right? It's more obvious, and that's good. Obvious is good. Okay. So make sure you look at week 6. If you weren't clear on things before, this can clarify, right? Make things clearer for you. But let's go to week 7. On week 7, right, you know that some other Connect assignments are ongoing and they're there. That's why week 7 has so many assignments, right? Because you have some course reading and writing topics, and you have a grammar Connect assignment, right? But now is the introduction. This is why I'm doing it right now. This is the introduction to Connect vocabulary quizzes, all right? Those quizzes became available at 1 p.m. on October 5th, Monday, October 5th, right? Just like an attendance quiz became available earlier at 8 a.m., okay? And notice, just like you saw on the master schedule, it shows the what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items that are due, right? And one of those things that is due, so I can focus now and not talk about other things, is the chapter 4 vocabulary quiz on time 2 days from now. That would be Wednesday the 7th, or late up until Wednesday the 14th. If I'm not mistaken, I think that it will be a Wednesday. Both times it would be 11:59 p.m. to submit it. All right. What I recommend on late work is please don't wait till October 14th, because other stuff is coming at you, right, in this class and other classes. And so the longer you go with the closer you get to the late deadline, the farther the further you are away from where you were supposed to be, which was submitted by October 7th, 11:59 p.m. So October 8th, October 9th, October 10th is better than waiting till October 14th. And the final point on that, and I've made this point before, but I'll make it again. Once you get to that late deadline, something goes wrong with your computer or whatever, that's it. There is no more. There is no more time. You sit down on October 9th, or on October 10th, yes, it's late, But if you sit down then and something goes wrong with your computer, that's all right. You still have 4 or 5 days left, right? So again, do it as soon as possible. And early is good too, right? If you get it done today, October 5th, or tomorrow, October 6th, what's wrong with that, right? Get it done early, right? So even before the original deadline is good too, as long as you're doing the work right and not rushing through it, right? And that, in that case, take your time, okay? All right, so the vocabulary quiz is available and is doable, and you can see how it is part of the scheme of other assignments as well. All right. Okay, so that is the syllabus, and so now we go into, let's go into the week folder. Not that it's week, but it's for week 7. So course content, I'm clicking on that, and here on course content, we'll go into week 7. And so you'll notice learning activities are what? You know, there you got this vocabulary quizzes, they're new. You also have some course reading and writing topics. I think, is it 2 of them, or just, I think it's just 1 of them, right? 1 of them you need to do, and then there's a grammar connect assignment. So we got 3 types of connect assignments to do. These are learning activities, things that I'm pointing out, all right? But the main thing I'm pointing out, especially in this video, is I'm going to introduce you to the vocabulary quizzes. Okay. Now, let me see. As we go down, assignments due this week. If you'll notice, I've referenced, 3 Connect assignments. Before we had the big old problem with Connect, the expired version, and you had to change to a new version, etc. of Connect. Then in the past, I had listed them individually. So this listed, the vocabulary. I mean, it was like a grammar assignment, and then another grammar assignment. They were listed individually. Now, I don't have time, and I'm not going to have time. Between now and the end of the semester, I will not make that improvement of listing them individually. So what I basically put in there is kind of, well, there's the folder, something is due, right? If this folder is here, that means that you have at least 1 Connect assignment due this week. And I think this folder is everywhere, every week, except maybe week 14, I think, has a Connect assignment. So I think week 14, week 16 don't, right? But all other weeks, there's at least 1 assignment due. And you know now that there are 3 assignments due for Connect this week. And of course, you have other things due, all right? So let's click on that folder. And that takes us into here. Now, this folder is, and notice this is the general Connect assignments folder. You can also access it through the left menu. You can click right there. You can also access it through course content and go to the Connect assignments folder that is inside that folder. So many ways to access it. You have the original registration tutorials, the one from McGraw-Hill, the one where I comment on that video and add my own commentary on registering for Connect. And then there's also, then it says Connect assignments overview. So here they are. And so it says, these are for the assignments I introduced on week 5, right? And then there they are, right? So there are the ones that became available on week 5, which was Monday, the 21st of September, right? And so you'll see that this week, here is the one that's due this week on October 8th, and so on and so forth. You would click in there to get that assignment, but that's not our focus here, right? Then you see the grammar assignments. There's the video for grammar assignments, right? And there are the assignments. And so you can see those became available last week, Monday of last week. And there are their due dates. The one that's due this week would be, what would it be? This one here, right? The commas one, right? It's due on the 10th. And so that's this week. And of course, there's a late deadline as well, all right? And then now this right here, even though it's 3rd on the list, these assignments, Power of Process, I will make one of them available next week. And so there will be a tutorial explaining to you how to do those, okay? So hold on for those. Don't worry about those. Those are not available yet. But all these vocabulary quizzes, right, which are really assignments like all others, are already available. As I'm doing this right now, it's 1:37 p.m. All right, so I know they're already available inside Connect for you to work on, okay? Unless there's some glitch or something, and then let me know. Let me know. I clicked on it and it didn't work, all right? But it should be there. And so notice there's no video. This video I'm producing will be right here. It'll be right in this location between these two items. So that then after the video you can see the items that you're trying to work on. But they're all available right now since 1 p.m. a few minutes ago. And this one is due 2 days from now. But yeah, even though it's 2 days from now, that wouldn't be fair for me to introduce it and 2 days from now make it due. That's why you really have more than a week. You have to October 14th. But do your best to be as close to on time as possible. On time or as close to that as possible. All right? Okay. So these are the assignments, right? Of course, to access, this is just the chart. You've got to click on the link or press the link. So, and then you get the same chart on the inside. And in each of these kinds of folders, there is the video for that topic. So I can have the videos on the outside and it's also on the inside, just like the chart is on the outside of the folder and on the inside of the folder. And so when this video is done, it'll be here. It'll be right here at the top, so you can see the different so you can get this tutorial, right? And it's available to you. I will also put the tutorial in the week 7 folder, right? Okay. So here it is. Without further ado, because we're 31 minutes into this now, let's click on that one. Really, you could click on any assignment, but we're clicking on that one. Now, this is the teacher interface, right? Let me take you into the student assignment view. All right. So as long as you already registered, right, and maybe you haven't. But for those of you, it should be everyone who already registered for Connect. Those who haven't, please do so as soon as possible. If you're having any problems, let me know and I'll assist you. But those who are registered will get this, right? You'll see 540 Chapter 4 vocabulary quiz. I wonder if in progress means that I have clicked on it before, and therefore it noticed that I had started it in the past, right? So I don't know if yours would say in progress. It might say something like, notice mine says continue. Yours would say something like begin, right? Begin quiz or simply begin. Notice there's a save and exit button also. That implies that, let's say you're on number 3. Maybe I'm going to do it, right? I'm not going to do all 10. I might do like 1 or 2 right here. And I'm going to hit save and exit because I'm not going to finish it. Same with you. You will be doing it, and if you finish it, great. If not, and you still have time on by the due date, you can come back to it later. So it saves your progress. All right. As always, make sure you always use whatever is available, not whether it's Connect or something else, because if you just close your browser, no guarantees, right? If you just close your browser on things, maybe it saves it, maybe it doesn't, right? So always look for and use whatever is available. So save and exit, then you're, I think, guaranteed that it will be saved. All right. So let's go ahead and, in my case, continue. In your case, we would click begin. And so notice it's nothing out of the ordinary, right? And by the way, I should say, it says chapter 4. What is this chapter 4? I think it's chapter 4 in the, what's it called? Commonplaces, electronic edition, what's it called? Ebook, 2nd edition. And really that was the problem with the whole Connect thing. These Connect exercises were associated or linked to Commonplaces ebook edition 1, 1st edition. That 1st edition expired the week when you all were registering for Connect, and some of you didn't get to, right? Because it kind of locked you out. Why? Because that book wasn't available, and therefore it all kind of went down together, right? Went down the drain together. And so now we have this Commonplaces ebook 2nd edition, and you have access to it. The only thing is we don't really use it. Although once everybody registers, I might start mentioning things from that book because it is a good book. It just wasn't a requirement in the sense that, I told you buy the book. No, I told you get Connect. And once you get Connect, the ebook is part of it. So you see? So I'm true to my word. The book wasn't required. What was required were these Connect exercises, but the book happens to come with it, the ebook. All right. So I think chapter 4 refers to vocabulary words that can be found in Commonplaces ebook, second edition, chapter 4. Whatever, it doesn't matter where they are, all right? I mean, if you want to go look for the words in there, no problem. But you can also look for the words, on the internet, right? And you can Google the words or something like that. You can use a physical paper dictionary. You can ask someone in the room with you, right? Someone who you're either trust or you're socially distanced with, right? You can ask the person this question: what does articulately mean? When people say articulate or articulately, what does it mean? And they'll tell you, you know what, I'm going to look it up on my phone, right? And then they're going to tell you the answer. So again, remember, this is not a quiz where you sit down and you've got to be quiet and you can't talk to anybody. This is an assignment. You learn from it, all right? And if learning from it means that you're going to look things up or ask people questions, that's fine. I don't consider that cheating. This is learning, okay? And notice there's a link, a little, I guess, link to the ebook. This button will take you to the ebook, and I suppose you could try to find those words in there. But let's just look at it. In which sentence does this word fit the best? Okay. So Paul Keel or something became the most famous film critic in America for articulately defining Bonnie and Clyde against the ineloquent attacks of its detractors. So what I'm thinking here is defending. No, there it is, defending. Okay. It does say defending, but what kind of defense was it? Was it like a really not a very good defense, or was it a good defense? Articulate is a good thing. So it seems like articulately might fit here, because we're saying that this person defended this movie against critics, against, sometimes we call them haters these days, right? People who didn't like the movie. I think it was a movie, right? Yeah, a film. So the point is that articulately seems like a good thing there, articulately defending that movie. But let's see. Derek voices objection so articulately that no one could understand him. It is articulately is a positive thing. If nobody understood this person, the person was not articulate. All right, so I know that's not the answer, because it's something positive, and clearly this right here is something negative. And notice how I'm saying it. I know what articulately means. All right, but I'm kind of, for a moment, I'm pretending that I don't have a full understanding of the word. I do, but pretending that I don't have a full understanding, but even my partial understanding, it's something like this. I know I've heard people say that someone's articulate, or that they're doing something articulately, saying something articulately, and I know that they're always using it in a positive way. It's never a put down, right? So even a partial understanding of that tells me that there's no way this can be the answer, because it must be something negative, right? Because it led to a bad result, to something ineffective. It didn't work. Okay. Randy painting the landscape articulately, capturing the look on the trees with perfect accuracy. So this is positive. So both this one and this one are positive. So there, my partial knowledge is not enough. I've got to know it's positive, but in what sense, right? And then this one, the clones were engineered articulately in a lab, away from nature's influence. I think it would be something positive, but when I see this thing about nature and then something done in a lab, it seems like it would be more like artificially. I see, and something that I do and don't think it's just because I'm a teacher. When I was a student, I always try to figure out what game is this person playing. What game is the test writer playing with me? All right, I make it sound negative, but it isn't a game. The test writer is allowed. A good test writer does try to distract you. All right, that's all right, because if you know your stuff, you're not going to get distracted, right? And so in this case, I think the distraction is the word artificially, right? The clones were engineered artificially in a lab, away from nature's influence. So artificially, or something like that, mechanically, robotically, something like that, something that shows that it's technological as opposed to natural, right? And so again, I'm not going to fall for the trick, and I actually admire the trick. When I write tests, I don't often write tests. I do throw in tricks like that, because If a student knows his or her stuff, that student will not fall for my trick. All right. So it's fair game. Don't get mad when there's something tricky. You don't get tricked. Know your stuff, and you won't get tricked. All right. That's how it is. All right. So I know that one's not right. That one's not right. It's either this one or this one. And since it's something about, I think it's more about talking. The word articulately usually refers to talking. This is where I'm going to go into just a Google search, right? And I copied it, so I pasted it. And I'm just going to, enter it, how do you spell it? Okay, we know how to spell it. Merriam-Webster, okay, I was here. Webster is a good place. Expressing oneself readily, clearly, and effectively. I'm not sure I do that. I do a lot of talking. I don't know if it's effective, but I try. All right, so readily, clearly, and effectively. Able to speak, divided into syllables. I think the first definition is the best. Express in that kind of manner. And articulate argument. And notice the first choice says that this guy kind of made an argument, say, to defend this movie. That's the one. Right, that's the one. That has to be the answer, because this one over here about painting a landscape, that's not about talking, right? The person did something not in words. And so I think it's more appropriate for words. They're both positive, but this one is the one that's like spot on, I think. So that's the answer. I think that's the answer. Now, it says that it's saved. It says that it's been saving my work. I can save and exit, or I can submit. What can I do? Can I submit that item? Let me see. No. It says you have 10 incomplete questions. Visit the question map. Submit now. Go. No. So otherwise, cancel. No, we don't want to do that, right? What we need to do is like go next. Let me see. I think the problem I'm having is that I have a certain window where this video is appearing. Okay. And my window, my little, you probably can't see my borderline, but I have a borderline that was covering this up. Right. So no, it's not time to submit the whole thing. It's time to click on this, I think, right here, to move to the next one. You can change your answer if you score now. All right, students. So when I clicked kind of off camera, I went ahead and hit the score. Hit on the score. And remember, before here it said score. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Well, let me do it. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Right, so I hit on score, and yeah, like I was saying, that was the answer, because it was an argument. Is something articulately refers to something you say. You say it in a way that's convincing and that's very clear, etc. All right. So now I can hit next, because I had to allow it to score my question. That means I can't go back. All right. I do know that I got it right, but had I gotten it wrong, I can't go back and fix it. Which I guess that's why it's important to get hello, kitty cat, right? That's why it's important to get an answer and be very clear about it, because you're not going to get a chance to try again. All right. And that's fine. That's fine. So I guess in that sense, it is like a quiz, right? That is where there's some pressure, because you don't get to go back and fix it. All right. All right. Number 2, the word is cognitive. I mean, I can just go ahead and look it up from the start, but I know something about this word, cognitive. To recognize. It has to do with knowledge. Something cognitive has to do with knowledge. As the deadline loomed, Tammy struggled to complete the assignment, panicked with cognitive terror. Terror having to do something with knowledge? All right, maybe. Students with cognitive disabilities may require additional instruction. That's the one. Disabilities involving cognition or cognitive things. It would also be termed learning disabilities, right? Because cognitive has to do with knowledge or learning. I think that's the answer. The police were certain that they had apprehended a cognitive suspect. No, that doesn't make sense. The cleaning formula restored Geraldine's wood floors to their cognitive shine. Be careful. Sometimes a word sounds fancy, but it makes no sense, right? Now, again, I know the word, all right? Especially in my line of work, okay? But notice how I still checked every option, and I'm not pretending I always do that, even if I'm sure of the answer. Just in case what I think I'm sure, but I really shouldn't be sure. Okay. Relating to cognition, well, that doesn't help, right? Cognition's the same thing. Cognitive process involved in reading. For that example is perfect for the answer that I want, right? Because cognitive disabilities, often disabilities in learning, often involving reading. Oh, there are disabilities involving math and other things too, but often it does have to do with reading. Like if there's problems with reading, there's problems with everything else often. Problems that can be overcome, of course, but they have to be recognized. Adjective of related to cognition, concerned with the process of knowing, perceiving, development. Nowhere does it say learning, but I mean, I know it has to do with learning. I can even put cognitive and learning together. And now there it is. Cognitive learning is a type of learning that is active, constructive. It engages students in the learning process. Best benefits of cognitive learning. So cognitive and learning go together, So yeah, I mean, clearly the answer is this one. Students with cognitive disabilities may require additional help. All right. Now, what happened before is that I was trying to do, when I clicked on score answer, well, let's click on it here. Like I put cancel, and then I was trying to find a place where I can move on to in this case to number 2, but right now, before from number 1 to number 2, without like committing to the answer. Well, we can't do that. We have to commit. So I'm going to have to say score now. If I put cancel, it's because I'm going to change my answer. If not, score now and tell me if I got it right or wrong. All right? Tell me the truth. All right. You told me the truth and I like the truth. I got my 9.09 points because I think it's 11 multiplied by 11 comes out to 100 or pretty close. So I'm on the right track, right? Now notice instead of saying score, it says next. So I can proceed through the quiz. All right. That's how you do this, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go save, right? Save and exit. I could, oh, no, let me continue. No. I'm going to exit and I'll come back to it later. All right. I'll come back to it later. You would come back to it later as long as you still have time left within the on time or even the late deadline. And that's it. That's how you do these vocabulary assignments. Okay. Pretty easy, right? No problem. If you do have any problems, especially the technical ones where the link isn't working or something like that, first of all, remember you need to register, right? That's not a technical problem. That means you haven't registered and don't have access. I think there is temporary access for those who can't buy it right away. I think it's 2 weeks. It's called temporary access. But for some of you that's running out or it ran out, right? If you did temporary 2 weeks ago, then it's time to pay for it so that you can access the exercises and I can access your scores.